What's up? It's Sean. I'm a retired skateboarder, software engineer, and amateur real estate investor. Got three houses, and this is my city house in upstate New York. And here's what we did in 2023. Put on a whole house water filter, even though I have a whole osmosis under sink drinking system. I'm just not messing with the water at all in the Rust Belt. Insulated the ducting, worked in the basement to get some better efficiency with the heat throughout the house, save on those heat bills. Then I started tackling this basement landing. The walls were all fucked up, stairs were falling apart. It had been eroded from leaks coming through the outside, and the leaks are fixed, so I had to rebuild that whole kind of room. Mom helped me paint. What a legend. Didn't get the kitchen or anything painted yet, but got a start on that landing, painted the floor and everything. I was working 40 hours a week as a software developer this whole year. So everything you see here was evenings and weekends in addition to the ranch property maintenance, which we'll do another video on that property. Got my garden stuff ready too early as always. Had to rebuild the back porch steps and take out a bunch of asphalt. Sanded and refinished the deck. Mid-March, still trudging through the snow to do compost and stuff. There's how the greenhouse is looking in March. And like I said, I only had evenings and weekends, so this could be a weekend job here to do the steps, but it took me a lot longer than that. And the tulips I did not plant, but they're one of the first flowers to come up in spring, and the rest of the yard is all wildflowers later on in the summer. Our last frost date is the middle of May up here, so pretty extreme, but I was already having some cold weather greens here regularly. And in hindsight, I should have just done a cover crop in the whole garden and just kind of not bothered with it this year. But you never know what you don't know. You don't know how much work it's all actually going to be. So, I mean, to me, gardening's not really an extra choice thing. It's like my favorite thing in life. So it's hard to sacrifice that. But you see that the garden is already popping off by July. High intensity, high density gardening here. Minimal pruning. And this goddamn basement landing just dragging on forever, wanting to finish so bad, but nothing is straightforward in the house. Nothing is perpendicular or square or level. Everything is a weird, random 100-year-old settled angle. So every little thing you go to do is a custom job, totally custom. You basically can't use the level or the square for anything in this house. You got to just eyeball it and do some artisan work. Then this tree just drops its branches and destroys the greenhouse every year. So a few chainsaw sessions here. I was a browser-based metaverse developer, and this is a metaverse meeting during work, just showing what that looks like. Year one at the house, I killed my lawn because why would I spend maintenance time on that when it can just be wildflowers and benefit all the insects, whereas a lawn does nothing for anybody and just costs you work and gas and mower maintenance. So, still with this damn landing, it never ends. It's actually still not done right now. I'm going to do some more painting still. But this shows the dining room needing work, and the kitchen has been painted white. Still on the landing. This year in the garden, there's really only one pest, which is a groundhog, and he shows up every spring until summer. And so this year, I had to take the time to build this plastic fencing over every single bed, and I retired those two garden beds that were built on top of the driveway. I used that as fill to create another wildflower patch. And that concludes the basement landing. It pretty much still looks like that today. Moved on to this downstairs bedroom closet, which was framed in by some tweakers. Completely bullshit construction, just with some random ass timbers and nothing, just exposed drywall. So we planned up just trying to make the best of it, made some trim, made it really kind of rustic, just hand sanded some organic kind of flowy angles. It's funny, but it looks okay. Got that trim on there, and then we made some cabinet doors that my tenant picked out, and went ahead and doweled those and built some pneumatic doors. I never done anything like that before, but it came out okay. So the front steps were just completely crumbled away garbage. I had to spend fucking $3,000 to get a new set installed. It's one of those things I know I could do it myself and build them myself, but when you add up the time that would take me and materials, it would be more than that in my time. So I had to bite the bullet and just pay for that. So with the help of the greenhouse and stuff, I was having tomatoes all the way till December from the garden. And here's the kitchen, finally painted, added a little whiteboard corner. I spend a lot of time there every day. I really like that whiteboard corner. I don't know if other people like it, but I'm into it. Here's how the greenhouse is looking by mid-October. Here's the porch. I've been training these wild grape. It's just a weed to grow up these ropes I installed. Then with those nice new steps, the shittiness of the paint job really started standing out because it was all weathered and chipped. It really needs new shingles, but I can't afford that, so I just slapped a coat of paint on there. And the whole house color scheme on the exterior is like not at all my choice, but again, I can't afford a whole paint job, so just do what I can here. This took many, you can see the difference upstairs there. I just went out the window there and stood on the roof and I painted the entire front facade. It took many, many days out there. I didn't get any footage of that. Then I finally took shit to the dump here that had been since year one piling up. November, this is the time when everyone sets out their bagged leaves, and I just made like 14 trips in my car to make an entire mountain of free leaf bags. And I use those throughout the year in the garden, in the compost pile, and in the greenhouse. And that's like the best resource of all if you're gardeners. Collect as many leaf bags as you can every fall. Then this is basically putting the garden to rest, just chop and drop all that organic material in the garden beds. That doesn't go anywhere, it gets dropped right where it is, and I mulch it heavy, heavy with leaves, and that ends up turning into next year's soil. Essentially what it amounts to here is 6 months of summer and 6 months of winter. Then I turned my attention to the dining room. It was in really bad shape. It needed full seam retaping and replastering, refinishing, and then painting. And I had some finish ideas that you'll see later. I made this custom scaffolding out of scrap wood, which is at the very limit of weight of what I can even lift up myself. But I just threw that on the sawhorses and it allowed me to like walk around the whole room and be able to access the ceiling work. And that took a bunch of days to tackle that ceiling. And that just about rounds out a year's worth of work at the city house. I didn't film or document everything. There's like way more stuff than this had been done here. This is kind of an overview of the scope of work that I did just in 2023. And again, this is not my only property, so I'll do another video. The same year, I also was maintaining a ranch property that I was trying to turn into an Airbnb. So we'll get that video up to you soon. And yeah, this has just kept on rolling through 2024. It's been the same kind of progress. So we'll do a 2024 review video too. Why don't you drop a subscription, drop a comment, smash the like, tell me what you think. If you're an investor yourself, tell me if you like the video. And I'll catch you next time, guys. Peace out.